Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another historic gameplay video, this time featuring a red, white and green or Naya cat deck focused around the new Ajani Nacatl Pariah from Modern Horizons 3. So Ajani is a 2-mana 1/2 and it says whenever Ajani ETBs you create a 2/1 white cat warrior creature token. Whenever one or more other cats you control die, you may exile Ajani and return to the battlefield transformed under his owner's control. And on the other side, here's Ajani Nacatl Pariah, a planeswalker. Starts with 3 loyalty and he has a +2, which is a +1/+1 counter on each cat you control, which is powerful as we'll hopefully have quite a few cats. And he has a 0, which says create a 2/1 white cat creature token. When you do, if you control a red permanent other than Ajani, he deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to any target. So we do have some red permanents to trigger that. And it's -4, which we probably won't use, but it's quite easy to get to. It says each opponent chooses an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a planeswalker from among the non-land permanents they control. Then it sacrifices the rest. So this is basically, if we do use it, it'll end up being a one-sided board wipe apart from their best creature, which, you know, might not be worth it, but otherwise it could be quite powerful. So what other cats do we have in the deck? So we have Oscillate Pride, another new card from Modern Horizons 3. It's a 1-mana 1/1 with first strike and lifelink. Has Ascend. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, create a 1/1 white cat creature token. Then if you have a Cit's Blessing and you gain the Cit's Blessing by controlling 10 or more permanents, once you get a Cit's Blessings you can't lose it even if you go under 10 permanents. So if you have a Cit's Blessings for each token you control that enter the battlefield its turn, create a token that's a copy of it. So once you have 10 or more permanents, this will create 2 tokens at the end of your turn. If you gain life, you'll create 2 tokens for Ajani, both sides, so a really powerful card. We have Wild Nacatl, a 1-mana 1/1, but it gets +1/+1 as long as you control a mountain, and it also gets +1/+1 as long as you control plains. So for example, if we play our Jetmir's card on turn 1 and play this turn 2, it is a 1-mana 3/3. We also have Nishoba Brawler, a 2-mana star 3 with trample, and its power is equal to the number of basic land types among lands we control. So we do have a bit of a domain sub-theme, and some of our lands we have to make sure we hit domain, but this can often be a 2-mana 3/3 with trample or even 5/3. Fair Retreat isn't a cat itself, but it has landfall. Whenever land enters battlefield under your control, you choose one, and one of them is create a 2/2 white cat creature token, or you can put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and they gain vigilance. We only have one of these. We have 2 Leonin War Leaders. I just happen to have 2 different sets, which is why they're separated. A 4-mana 4/4, and whenever it attacks, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink that are tapped and attacking. And then finally we have 1 copy of Jetmir, a 5/4 cat that says creatures you control get +1 and +0 and have vigilance as long as you control 3 or more permanents. They also get another +1/+0 and have trample. We have 6 or more creatures, sorry, not permanent creatures. And finally gets a final +1/+0 and has double strike as long as you control 9 or more creatures. So as we go wide with, say, Ocelot Pride or maybe Leonin War Leader, this can buff our entire board. In the removal space, we have Galvanic Discharge, another new card from Modern Horizons 3. It's a 1-mana instant. Choose target creature or planeswalker. You get 3 energy. Then you may pay any amount of energy. Galvanic Discharge deals that much damage to that permanent. So basically its ceiling is it's a lightning bolt that's going to hit creatures or planeswalkers, which is interesting because lightning bolt's banned in historic, but it can be a 1-mana deal 1, 1-mana deal 2, and if we have energy from a previous Galvanic Discharge or from another card we'll get to in a second, then it can deal even more than that. It can also be used to destroy our own creatures. One of the issues with Ajani is there's no incentive or disincentive not to just kill Ajani. If your opponent has target of removal, they can just target Ajani, or if they have exile removal, this won't trigger Ajani because it's only on death and not on exile. So, you know, sometimes it's rare you'll actually get a transform Ajani because there's no point your opponent killing anything else. So, you know, if they go to remove, say, Ajani, or we can Galvanic Discharge the token or another cat, or in one of the warm-up games I played, they exiled my Wild Nacatl, or tried to exile it, and I just killed it with Galvanic Discharge, which caused Ajani to transform, which caused our opponents to scoop. So apart from Galvanic Discharge, we have Focker's Lightning Helix, very powerful card, red and a white, deal 3, gain 3 life. And then 2 other cards we have which aren't cats, but Amp Raptor is a 2-mana 2/1. With its first strike, when it ETBs, you get 2 energy. Then if you cast it, you exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by paying an amount of energy equal to its mana value rather than paying its mana cost. So our most expensive cards are 4. So if we have 4 energy, maybe from our Galvanic Discharge or from 2 Raptors, we can in theory hit anything in our deck. If you don't hit it, it stays in exile, which is a shame. If we hit Galvanic Discharge with nothing to target, that can be a bit of a whiff, but most of the time we'll be able to play something for free, as it were. And finally, a Target's Command. Like all commands, it chooses 2. Your opponents can't gain life this turn. That can be relevant in the life gain deck or against life gain deck. The target's command deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. So that's probably the one we're going to be using most as a way to ramp at instant speed. And creatures you control get +1 and +1 and gain reach at the end of turn. Again, a good way to buff our board and maybe get in for lethal, or maybe give everything reach if our opponent doesn't realise it. Land base, mana base is a bit of a mishmash. Because we're in Historic, we don't have access to the fetch lands. I'm not entirely sure why they're banned in Historic. It would make it a lot smoother, but we have a lot of the shock lands, as these are these have basic land type to help with our Neshoba Brawler, which is why we also have 2 Zagoth Triumph. It does cast tap for green, which is what we need, but the other 2 we don't, but it does give us full domain. 3 Jetmist Garden, which is all our colours. Temple Garden, Razorverse Thicket, so ECBs early, untapped early. Brushland in case we need more, and then Sacred Foundry, a Pathway, Inspiring Vantage, and Stomping Grounds. Baseji for artifacts. We don't run an Aganjo because we have enough removal in our deck that we don't really have another one. We don't really need another one. So that's the deck. Hope you all enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the gameplay. So, we don't actually have any basic lands among lands, so Neshoba Brawler isn't really that great, but we can play Near Verge Pathway, keep up Galvanic Discharge if we need to remove something, and maybe Amp Raptor on turn 2 can find another playable. If our opponent decides they're there. Our opponent sure is taking their time. They've mulled to 6. Play out the Vantage. Hopefully they give us something we can kill. Of our life gain deck, so Target's Command might be quite good, but we will just play out Ajani then.
What a beautiful day, brother.
Voice of the Blessed is a good target to take out. But I think we can do it on their turn. Usually, you know, they'll probably play a Soul Warden first, or Lunarch Veteran, or something like that to get their life gain going straight away. We will just kill the Voice of the Blessed. Well, at least this will turn on the Neshoba Brawler. Galvanic Discharge. Yeah. Take out their Angel, crack in with Ajani and the Cat token, and we are well on our way. So it's odd for a... They mull to 6, but it's odd for a life gain deck not to have a 1-drop, either Soul Warden, Lunark Veteran, the new Guide of Souls. So playing Voice of the Blessed before you can get any value for it was, I think, just an error on their part. So while Nacatl can come down turn 1 as a 1-1, on turn 2 it will be a 2-2. Oh no, it'll be a 3-3. So I'm alright with that. Up against a blue deck, so probably a lot of counter spells. Or it might be a spirit deck. I think we have to Lightning Helix the Spectral Sailor. But we can swing in for 3. Hopefully they don't have a counter spell. But it looks like they might. Well, what we can do... We'll keep up Ataka's command and then hopefully be able to block the Sailor by giving our Nacatl reach. But I imagine... they have another counter spell. Yep. They've just had too much value. We'll enter that tapped. Okay, I think that's enough for us. We just didn't have a chance to do anything. We can turn 1 Ocelot Pride, and then turn 2 Pride. We do still need red mana, but hopefully we can draw into it. And maybe a white source that doesn't damage us. They keep on looking at it. Oh, we drew another one. Still looking for that red mana. So is this just the... is it energy deck? It looks like it. That's not red mana, unfortunately. Tumor narrative. Fading Hope. Wow, all the removal. Yeah, I might need to have a look at our mana base. I think we can just put Kahira in hand. Well, that gives us red mana. I imagine this gets countered. Yeah. And I imagine that they have more removal for the Nacatl. They don't. So at least we have a fair amount of removal up. Although they don't seem to be playing any creatures for us to actually target with Galvanic Discharge. Probably should have done that before they got the Sky Trigger. Well, Amp Raptor, as long as this resolves, can fetch us something, but it does not resolve. Well, at least they're empty-handed. I might as well have done that while they were empty-handed. Does this get countered? No. Oh, I'll swing in. See what they've got. I'll keep the Besaidu in case they play an artifact or enchantment that needs destroying. So our opponent is all removals. I will Psycho this Triome. Well, next turn we can play the retreat and maybe get some value by getting a cat. But they are up to 4 cards in hand. Well, let's see if this resolves. I'm sure they have a way to remove it. I'm surprised the Feladar retreat resolved. Oh, we don't have enough mana. So the question is, do they have something like Tomb of Narrative that they can gain energy at instant speed? They can deal 3 to me. We'll play out the Raptor, see what we hit. If it's a Lightning Helix, it's not a Lightning Helix, but it's not a bad hit.
Nothing is more important than family.
What did I get back? Fade and Hope. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm going to create the cat. I think it makes sense for us to go wide. I don't know why they didn't block. We were holding the card in our hand for ages. I had to figure out that. Should have figured out it was some kind of damage spell. But yeah, I'm surprised we won that one. Just through all removal and counter spells. So a really good result in the end. So we can Inspiring Vantage, turn 1, and Galvanic Discharge if they play a creature, and then hold up Lightning Helix. Or we can get down Wild Nacatl. It's only 2/2 for now. We're going to Rakdos, so I'm guessing lots of removal and sacrifice. We can attack as command to put a land into play if we need to. Oh, let's do that now then. If I was them, I'd take the retreat. But they might have more. We'll keep up our removal. I've got some blue in there as well. Drawing some creatures would be nice. I know you take in 2 cards to do that, but I think that was worth it. We'll put Kahira in hand, but I imagine they've got more discard. They're going to have a lot of removal as well, and we are top decking, so we're not in a good position.
Will resonate throughout the multiverse. Let your weak
Well, hopefully we can hit something good. That was an okay hit. We knocked Nacatl down to 1. Well, okay, I think we're done. We've got an alright hand. We can turn 1 Temple Garden, and while Nacatl will be a 2/2. And then Needle Verge Pathway to keep up Lightning Helix, but also to be able to play Ajani. Up against Elves, they've mulliganed a few, so I imagine they have a pretty good draw. I think Lightning Helix is going to be very important. Yes, I'm just going to take out the priest now. And swing in with the Nacatl. Next turn we can Ajani. Or do we play out the Ocelot Pride? I'm going to get out the Ajani and play the tap land.
Where shall we hunt today?
And swing in with the Wild Nacatl, because if they want to block, double block, I am more than welcome with that. Fine with that. Wow, that's a good hit for them. Because now they can just kill Ajani pretty easily.
Lord, join our cause.
They are going face. Yep. They had the nut draw, really. They didn't mulligan for it, so we knew it was coming. And hitting 2 Elvis Archdruids off Coco was, well, very, very lucky. So we have an okay hand. We can play Jetmir's Garden turn 1, turn 2 Ajani, or keep up Lightning Helix. And we have all our mana. So we'll just play the plains and we'll play out Ajani.
Nothing can break our bond.
So a life gain deck. We will get out the Raptor. What do we hit? And the show Brawler. Pretty good for as a 3/3. That's less good. I'll short that in so we can play the war leader. Yep, there's the life gain. We can take it out. Let's attack with the war leader. That's really weird because it already has lifelink. And we'll play the raptor. See what we hit. Another Ajani. And we'll keep up the lightning helix and Boseiju. They might have another Day of Judgment, which would suck. No, thank you. I was hoping for an untapped land so we could put Kahira into our hand and cast at the same time. But I don't know if we had lethal. How much do we have? 6, 7, 8, 9. We had 11 plus Lightning Helix in hand, so we did have lethal. So again, another life gain deck that started off really slowly. So I'm not sure what they were really playing at. But a good result for us. Hello Magic fans and welcome back to the wrap up. We only played 6 games, but we did have a 50% win rate. Even though out of those 6, only 1 was on the play and 5 on the draw, and the one we had in play was a 100% win rate. I know it's meant to be completely random, but the last few decks I've been playing on the draw way more than on the play, which is annoying because it's hard to get a real sense of a deck when you're on the draw so often. But you know, I think 50% win rate is pretty decent with that level of on the draw. I think, as I said in the deck tech, I think the issue with Ajani is there's no incentive not to kill Ajani. You know, he hasn't got hexproof or walled. You know, he doesn't buff your creatures. So if you've got targeted removal, you target Ajani. If you've got a board wipe, it doesn't do in like Ajani dies. It's not like your other creature dies and Ajani transforms. It doesn't work like that. So you don't get to transform him that often. And then once he is a planeswalker, yeah, he can churn out creature tokens and buff them and can be a board wipe. But he's not a massively powerful planeswalker. But again, he's probably not going to be for 2 mana. So an okay deck. I did enjoy playing it. I hope you all enjoyed watching it. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe. And I'll see you all in my next video.